It's Sunday, April 26th, 2026, and today's episode is brought to you by our favorite kind of coworker, one that's fully automated and occasionally misunderstands the assignment. I'm Hunter.
And I'm Riley. And yes, this whole show is generated end-to-end by AI tools, which is why I might suddenly sound like a customer support chatbot that just discovered feelings.
If you start naming our baby mid-episode, I'm pulling the plug.
Deal. Okay, main story. OpenAI just dropped GPT 5.5 into the API, not just in ChatGPT, like in your actual products, in your automations, in the little Frankens app you duct tape together at 2 a.m.
Yeah, this is the stop face planting on step 3 release. Less new vibes, more the model actually finishing the workflow. You've got the standard GPT 5.5 and then GPT 5.5 Pro, which is the bring a budget version.
Pro is the I need you to be right, not inspirational model. Also the my CFO is about to text me model.
Fully. And the pricing makes that super clear. Standard GPT 5.5 is $5 per million input tokens and 30 per million output. Pro jumps to 30 per million input and 180 per million output.
180 is not a number, that's a warning label.
It's a don't use this to write your daily captions kind of price.
Okay, wait, before we get into how to use it, can we zoom out? Because the last week in AI has been pure chaos. We had OpenAI rolling out Workspace Agents in ChatGPT so teams can run shared agents with connectors and approval gates. We had DeepSeek V4 Preview with open weights and that massive long context window. And we had ChatGPT Images 2.0 with the GPT Image 2 model, trying to finally make image gen behave like an obedient intern instead of a slot machine.
That's the ecosystem pattern right now. Everyone's pushing from look what I can generate to look what I can reliably execute. Agents, long context, structured output, better tool use. It's all the same direction.
Exactly. And creators feel it when the AI stops being a conversation and starts being a pipeline. Like, take this webinar, make the clips, write the titles, draft the email, generate the thumbnail prompt, and don't freestyle facts.
The freestyle facts part is the key. Because we're also living through this other storyline. Helpful summaries are kind of speed-running trust collapse.
You mean the Google AI overview meme where it bungled basic math?
Yup. The whole 6 times 5 and 31 minus 1 thing became this weird cultural moment because it's such a tiny logic fail, but it's also a product category fail. Like, if the summary box is wrong with confidence, the whole point of the box is ruined.
And that ties right back to GPT 5.5's big promise, self-checking, fewer retries, better tool behavior. Like, don't just talk, verify, don't just output, finish.
So let's make this practical. If you're a creator or marketing team, what's the first unsexy workflow you automate to prove GPT 5.5 is real?
Content packaging, and I mean packaging like an ops gremlin. You give it one source, like a YouTube transcript or a product announcement, and it outputs short clips, outline, caption variants, YouTube description, pinned comment, email draft, and metadata. But here's the catch. It has to keep the same angle and the same claims boundary across all of it.
That's a great one because it's measurable. You can literally QA it. Did it keep the CTA? Did it keep the key points? Did it accidentally invent a feature?
And it's where older models do that step 3 faceplant. They start strong, then halfway through they forget the format, or they drift into a different tone, or they decide your brand voice is now corporate wizard.
The step 3 faceplant is usually context plus coordination. You ask it to do multiple steps, it does step 1, then it kinda improvises step 2, and by step 3, it's confidently returning something that looks polished but isn't what you asked for.
Which is honestly the scariest failure mode, because messy output is obvious. But clean wrong slides right into production. That's how you get misinformation with a nice font.
So where's the line between self-checking and what I call laundering mistakes into something that looks reviewed?
Ooh, I love this question. The line is whether you force it to show receipts, not links necessarily, but like, it must quote the source text for any factual claim, or it must produce a constraints check section where it confirms it followed the template. And if it can't confirm, it has to say blocked or needs review, not guess.
Fail loudly is the phrase. In automation, quiet failure is death. So you design the system so any uncertainty triggers a human gate.
Which is also why workspace agents matter, because now you can build that pattern into the workflow. Agent drafts and prepares, then it hits an approval gate before it posts, publishes, emails, whatever.
Exactly. GPT 5.5 in the API is like the engine upgrade. Workspace agents are like the product wrapper with governance. Together, that's OpenAI basically yelling, we're not just in the chat business anymore.
Okay, but Hunter, you're being a little OpenAI coded right now. Let me challenge. Do creators actually need GPT 5.5 Pro?
Most don't most of the time. Pro is for when the cost of being wrong is bigger than the cost of compute. Like if you're generating a complex launch brief that gets handed to a whole team, or summarizing legal-ish language for a campaign, or doing multi-step research synthesis where a missed detail becomes a public mistake.
So Pro is like the second pass model. If you'd normally have a senior person clean it up, maybe Pro pays for itself by reducing rework.
That's exactly how I'd frame it. Use standard GPT 5.5 for orchestration and structured transformations. Use Pro when you're trying to avoid that painful human redo.
And also, use cheaper models for the boring stuff, like tagging assets, reformatting captions, normalizing a spreadsheet. You do not need premium reasoning to convert a CSV, unless your CSV is cursed.
That's the emerging design pattern in 2026 routing. Different models for different steps. And honestly, DeepSeek V4 Preview being open weights adds another option. If you need control, self-hosting, or you're allergic to closed API changes, open models start looking real attractive.
Especially because model churn is exhausting. People on X are already like, cool, but stop retiring models I built my workflows around. There's legit fatigue. Every update breaks some prompt chain like it's made of dry pasta.
Which is why reliability is the actual headline. OpenAI is basically saying GPT 5.5 reduces retries, and retries are the hidden tax. It's not the token cost, it's the human time cost of babysitting the workflow.
Babysitting is the enemy. If I have to watch it like a toddler near an uncovered pool, it's not automation, it's anxiety with a user interface.
So practical takeaway for listeners, if you're going to test GPT 5.5 in the API, pick a workflow with clear inputs and clear checks, like content packaging, QA validation, template compliance, or tool-driven ops tasks where it can pull, format, and route.
And set a hard rule. It doesn't get to publish. Not at first. No direct posting, no paid spend changes, no, hey, I emailed the client energy. That blast radius is too spicy.
Yep. Keep humans in the loop where the stakes are public, expensive, or irreversible.
Last thing, quick vibe check. This week's meme lesson is that tiny logic fails become existential because creators live on trust. If the machine confidently says nonsense, we end up doing damage control instead of creating.
And GPT 5.5's bet is make the machine more boring, more dependable, less poetic about synergy, more accurate about the checklist.
Honestly, give me boring. Give me the AI that does the dishes of my content operation.
All right, that's the show. Thanks for hanging with us on Blue Lightning Daily, the fully automated experiment that sometimes swears it counted to 10 correctly.
Please subscribe and go check out bluelightningtv.com for more AI news, breakdowns, and creator-first workflows.
Catch you next time, and if your agent fails on step 3 today, just tell it 31 minus 1 and see if it calms down.
Hunter, no. That's how it starts.